Hello, and welcome to Career Landscapes, a peek into professional lives brought to you by One Voice for Change. I'm your host, Felicity Minch, and today we are speaking with fitness trainer and business owner, Shanna Cullen. I'd like to take a moment and read a bit about her. Shanna Cullen is a certified personal trainer whose focus is creating fun, effective workout plans that are programmed specifically for her clients. She holds several certifications from the National Academy of Sports Medicine. She designs a wide range of workout formats, from chair exercises to high-intensity interval training to endurance training, along with circuit training, core conditioning, and traveling fit programs. Owner of Kismet Fit Studio in Lafayette, Colorado, her mission is to help you achieve your health and fitness goals so you can become your best self and live your best life. Welcome, Shanna. Thank you for being with me today.
Thank you for having me, Felicity.
Oh, this is wonderful. The students will love to hear about your career. So I'd love to start out. Can you tell me how you got started in this career? Tell me a little bit about your beginnings.
Okay, so I have been involved in the fitness industry for a very, very long time. I actually started teaching aerobics when I was 14 years old. That was my first job, believe it or not, at our local rec center where I grew up in New Jersey. I was a dancer for many, many years, and I became a competitive runner at the age of 16. So right from my early years, I've been very active and very interested in the fitness industry. I began training in my late 20s, and mostly as a part-time kind of hobby on the side, and worked in the corporate environment for about 23 years. And then during COVID, I lost my full-time corporate job and decided to launch into being a full-time trainer. And so at that point, personal training became my full-time career path.
That's fascinating. Great. What's your typical day look like? Or do you have a typical day?
I do have a typical day. I have a very, very busy training schedule. I have a lot of clients, so it's really important for me to be really structured in how my day is laid out. I get up at about 4 o'clock in the morning and I train myself
Oh,
because that's really important to me. And in order to be able to train my clients throughout the day, I need to get up early and do my own thing first. And then I usually start training my first client between 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning. My training sessions are 1 hour per session. And I train consistently throughout the day, about 7 to 9 hours of sessions per day. So my day may start at 7 or 8, and I usually finish between 6 and 7 at night, hopefully with a little bit of a lunch in between.
I certainly hope so. What's the most rewarding aspect of your work? What do you find just so rewarding?
Every day is rewarding for me. Seeing my clients reach their goals and even just strive towards their goals and making gradual progress and embracing their 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 desire to have a healthy lifestyle, and seeing how that affects their outside of training with me, what goes on in their day-to-day living. That is really what inspires me to keep doing what I do. And that's really, I always tell my clients, it's kind of a funny joke with my clients, but I always say to them, I'm only successful when you don't need me anymore. And they usually laugh at that and they say, oh, I get that. But what if I just want to keep working with you forever? And I say, that's fine. We can still keep going. But I feel I'm successful when I give them the tools and the motivation to go out and do it on their own, and feeling like they've now been empowered to take their own journey.
Yeah, I'm a music teacher, classical guitar teacher, and I feel the same way. When the kids don't need me anymore, they can write their own music, they can play their own, do their own concerts. They don't need me anymore, and it is a wonderful feeling to see the kids grow and learn and just want to learn. And I would think that it would be the same thing with your training. Your clients, it would be so great to see them want to work out and want to be healthy. Do you have any stories of somebody, without mentioning names, anybody who did an incredible transformation? Um, Anybody that
Absolutely.
can,
Absolutely. I have lots of those stories, and so many of my clients are so near and dear to me because they each have their own very personal story. I'm working with someone now, and I've been working with this person for, it's going on about 2.5 years. And when this person started training with me, they had not trained for or done anything really for about 20, 25 years. Were really just kind of dragging their feet, but knowing that they had to do something to make a lifestyle change, to feel better and to be healthier. And started training with me 3 days a week. And in the beginning, there was some canceled sessions, and there were some sessions where they showed up and just really weren't super motivated, and but stuck with it and stuck with it and stuck with it. And now that person has been working with me for several years, but has become empowered to work out on their own 5 days a week, has made great strides in changing their body, changing their overall health and fitness, feels really wonderful about themselves, and has really embraced a healthy lifestyle. And for me, watching that transformation has really been so phenomenal. And I see that day to day, but this person sticks out right now for me because when they show up now, they're really, really motivated to work, and they're really excited about working. And when they go on vacation, they're texting me and saying, I worked out 4 times this week. And so that's when I really feel good about seeing people change their lives and motivating themselves. And I get a lot of people that say to me, when they're making great strides and reaching their goals, where they'll say to me, oh, well, it's because of you. And I always tell them it's not because of me. I'm just there to help motivate them and keep them safe, but they're doing the work. And so I really try to turn that back on my clients and let them know they're the ones doing the work. And when they have success, it's their success.
yeah. Oh, it's amazing because when our body is healthy, it also helps our mind. Um,
Absolutely.
we're much, much better off. I've had students that um, have gone through tremendous health challenges and changed, perhaps lost a lot of weight or gone through other things with their health. Their mental abilities just bloom. They lose the depression. They get more motivated. They play better in music. They do better in school. So really, the body and the mind are so connected.
It's all mind body. And even in my training, there's a huge emphasis on that mind body connection. Even saying to a client, think about what muscle you're using right now. Focus on that muscle, and really just that imagery of what they should be feeling in that area of their body is that mind body connection. But more than that, I loved what you said about mental health component, because there really is a direct correlation between health and wellness and improving your mental health. And they've done tons of studies on depression and how increasing your activity level can reduce the symptoms of depression. And that is very, very true with many of the people that I work with.
I believe it. What are the challenges? What's difficult? What's the challenge that you face?
With working with clients or
Mhm.
general, I think learning how to motivate very different people. Everyone has their own story, right? Everyone comes from a different place. Everyone is there for a reason. Some people are there because their doctor tells them they have to do it. So really, really, I find, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily challenging in a negative way. For me, I'm empowered by the challenge, because I really have to meet people where they are. And some people come to me and they're very, very motivated. Some people come to me and they're really, really scared. And some people come to me and they're kind of dragging their feet because they know they have to be there, but they still don't really want to be there. So really meeting people where they are at, as we embark on this journey and as I learn about what motivates them and how I can really work with them in a way that will be most useful to them and most comfortable for them. I always tell my clients, especially the ones that really have a hard time um, getting started, I always tell them the hardest part is walking through that front door. And once you've made it through that front door, it's not easy selling from then on, but they've done the hardest work by showing up. So that's really kind of what I like to reiterate to my people, because it is scary. It is scary to start a new process, any type of process.
It is. With my students with music, kids are afraid, and adults too, they're afraid they're going to fail. They won't be able to do it. They don't have enough talent. They don't have the finger strength. They don't have the ear. There's always these reasons why they can't. And I have to overcome. I do a lot of psychological work too. You work with people to meet them where they're at and be able to,
Absolutely.
making them believe in themselves is probably the hardest challenge I have, that they believe in themselves enough to keep going.
Yes, absolutely. And my first official session with my clients, I typically do a pretty lengthy assessment where I take them through a series of progressive, mostly body weight exercises where we break down form, and it gives me an opportunity to see where they're starting from, what their baseline is. And typically before that first session, I get a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm so weak and I'm not going to be able to do this and blah, blah, blah." And I always say to them, trust me, you will walk out of that assessment feeling so much stronger than you think you are. And 9 times out of 10, or 99% of the time, they finish that assessment and they say, wow, I feel great. And wow, I can't believe I did that. So for me, that's really important to let people know that it is scary, and we take it slow and we break it down, and I go at their pace, and and we're all a lot stronger than we think we are, for sure.
Yes, we are. We definitely are. Which leads me to the point that students need to have much more than just the ability to work out. If they're trying to work, if they go into this field, they need to be able to have communication skills with people. They need to have empathy. They need to, yeah, what other skills would you say a student or somebody in going into this field would need? Other than
Absolutely empathy, absolutely communication skills. I have a degree or I have 2 degrees in mental health. So counseling psychology and human services are my degrees from college. And marketing skills are very important, especially if they're launching their own business. Organizational skills, time management skills, those are all really, really important when you're when you're managing a business of your own, and especially this type of business, the training business, because I see people all day long, and I have to market myself out to people to keep my business growing. And building rapport with clients, that's a huge skill. If you can't make that personal connection with someone, it's really hard to motivate them. And so being able to make personal connections as well. And that's where the empathy comes in. So I really agree with you on that one as well.
what advice would you give a student directly coming out of high school who really wanted to be a fitness trainer? Should they go right into college? Um, what do you think?
So quite honestly, I didn't start college until I was 21. I graduated high school. I was a little bit of a late bloomer academically. I wasn't super motivated to go to college. And it wasn't until I was 21 that I decided it was time to go to school and get a degree. I don't think um, that there is a huge need to rush right into college if you're not ready for it, or ever go to college if you're not ready for it. I have a daughter who's 21, and when she graduated high school, she decided not to go to college, and she works in the home healthcare field and is really successful and has a wonderful career. So as far as being a personal trainer, you do not need to go to college to become a personal trainer. If you decide to pursue a degree in exercise physiology and go into or athletic training, those are all helpful degrees for being a personal trainer, but they are not necessary. What you do need to do, however, is to look into certification programs, because for personal training in any professional environment, you are required to be certified. So I would encourage a student who does not want to go into or is not ready to go into college, who's looking to go into the field of personal training, to start doing some research on the various organizations that offer personal training certifications and start there.
Oh, great advice. Thank you. I think we're ready to move on to student questions.
Okay, great.
Great, great. So I've got several questions here. The first one, very interesting, from a student outside of Colorado. I'm a small kid. I'm short and not the same size as kids my age, but I love working out and I feel good when I'm at the gym. It feels like I belong here. It would be cool to be a fitness instructor and help people, but people are telling me I don't have the physique for a job like that. Can fitness instructors be on the small size and still be successful? This is from a boy age 16.
I love this question. What a wonderful question. And I'll tell you the reason why I love this question so much. I am 5'1" and I weigh a smidge over 100 pounds. So I get small. And so what I would advise the student is absolutely he should pursue this direction if it's something he feels passionate about, and not let his stature limit him in any way. I train people of all shapes and sizes. My tallest client is 6'5". He towers over me and we look so funny when we're training together, but I can do my job just as effectively with him being tall as I could if he was my size. Um, I would suggest a few things, however, on a more practical side, as far as being a smaller stature, in that it's really important to make sure that you're maintaining and developing really solid core strength, especially if you're smaller in stature. And the reason I say that is because as we train larger clients, we are spotting them, we're supporting them, and if they weigh a lot more than us, if they're lifting a lot more than us, if we have to unrack machines that have heavy weight on them, we really need to be strong in our core to prevent injury to our back. And so that's one thing I would encourage the student to do, being that he's on the smaller side, really pay attention to his core strength and development and make sure that he stays safe. So our job is to keep our clients safe, but it's also to keep us safe.
Mm.
And focusing on that core strength as far as overall strength, but specifically core strength is something to really pay attention to when you're working with clients that are a lot taller than you or a lot heavier than you, or working with machines that you have to stack heavy weight on. That's really important.
Oh, thank you. Oh, wonderful advice. Wonderful advice.
But
Um,
tell him he can still be small and mighty. He does not have to worry about it.
oh, I have a number of women that have very small hands and they think they can't play classical guitar. And it's absolutely not true. So, uh,
Absolutely right.
definitely. The next question is from a 15-year-old. Do fitness instructors have to have business classes or a business degree to do their work? I think you kind of answered that, but that was her question.
Right. A business degree, if you're running your own business, is a great addition to your repertoire. But really, the most necessary, uh, the most important requirement is the certification
Okay.
and the continuing ed certifications. That's really a great start. Again, if you're doing a degree in exercise physiology or athletic training or physical therapy, those are all wonderful degrees to enhance your resume, but you really must get that certification to start. And in addition to that, you're also, I should mention this, you are also required to be certified in CPR and first aid as well. All personal trainers must be certified in CPR and first aid.
Great, great. Next question is from a 14-year-old girl. Do men treat you with respect? Do more women than men train with you because you are a woman?
Those are great questions. Luckily, men do treat me with respect. I have several men clients, and they're all wonderful, and they're all very respectful to me. I will tell you that as a female, there are many women that only want to work with females. So I do have a lot of requests for female clients. And men are typically, they'll go either way. They'll work with women or they'll work with men. But a lot of females are more specific and more comfortable working with female trainers. And so it's a little bit of both. And some of it's also age specific too. I'm 54 years old, so I'm considered an older trainer. And I think I train clients from the age of 14 to 88. But I do have an appeal to a lot of women, in their 40s to 80s. So it just depends. But I am lucky in that I have a lot of wonderful men that treat me with great respect, and I work with a lot of wonderful women too.
Yeah, great, great. Next one is from a 16-year-old. Do you do online fitness videos? And if not, why not?
So I do virtual training, which is not online fitness videos. I would love to start a YouTube channel soon and start doing online fitness videos. I've had a lot of clients ask me if I could do that. I have a website that I'd like to start posting videos on for my clients. At the moment, I'm so incredibly busy. That's just kind of a project that's been put off to the side, but I'll get there someday. And but I do virtual training, online virtual training. So I train clients all over the country. And some of them come to me from referrals from other clients. Some of them are clients that have worked with me and then moved out of state. And some of them are a product of COVID when everything really went virtually and we had to go to training virtually. So I do virtual training sessions with several clients a week.
Yeah, great. I do too. I teach students all over the world, and it's wonderful.
It is. It's so fabulous to have that broad outreach to the larger communities. And yeah, I feel very lucky that we live in this time where we are able to do that now.
It's incredible. Yeah. Yeah, we live in the best of times.
Yeah.
The next one is from a 12-year-old. Did you do a lot of sports in school? And when did you know you wanted to be a fitness instructor?
So I had mentioned this before, but yes, so I started teaching aerobics when I was 14. I was a gym brat before that. I was a dancer in high school and after, and also a runner and long distance runner. And so my sports were running and dancing and aerobics and being in the gym, starting very, very early.
Yeah. I bet dancing was wonderful for balance, um, and
Absolutely.
core strength.
Absolutely. And I started dancing really young and danced. That was what I wanted. I wanted to be a professional dancer originally, until I hit my late teens. But that was great in developing balance and stability and mobility and flexibility, as well as strength. So that's a great sport to get into.
Yeah. The next one is from a 15-year-old. Do you have to continually take classes to keep up with trends or to stay certified?
Great question. And yes, absolutely you do. And not only do you have to, but you should, regardless. So my certification is through NASM, the National Academy of Sports Medicine, and we are required to take continuing education units to meet our recertification status, which we do every 2 years. And you can do that a variety of ways. You can take workshops, you can take additional certifications. If you look at my bio, I have several different certifications that I've taken. And that is both to recertify, but also to keep up with trends and to keep current. I'm always out there looking for the next best thing. I'm currently teaching a wall Pilates program that became kind of a trend that I said, wow, this looks really kind of fun. And I dug deep and took workshops, and now I have sold out classes in wall Pilates, and people love that class. So it's really important to be out there and keeping yourself educated, taking workshops, seeing what's going on, looking at what's going on YouTube, and social media, but also taking those research, those CEUs, those continuing education certifications that you'll need just to stay certified. It's really, really important to stay current and to keep educating yourself.
Thank you. Great. And the last one is from a 14-year-old. She asked, how do you get clients? And what's the age range of the clients? And how young is too young to take as a client?
Also great questions. These will be some really good personal trainers if they go that way.
Yeah.
So how do I get clients? I have my own company, Kismet Fit, which is private, and I get a lot of clients, believe it or not, from referrals, word of mouth, where one client will come to me and say, wow, I love working with you. And then someone will say, you look great, or you seem to be doing really well. And they'll say, oh, I've been training with this trainer. And then they refer me, and then they refer me, and they refer me. And so it takes off that way. I also have a website. I have an Instagram. I advertise on all of my social media. I belong to a variety of community network groups that I will do advertisements on and outreach through. I work at a community rec center as well. And so I have clients that are referred to me there. People may just see me working on the floor with other clients, and they'll say, oh, she looks interesting. And then they'll fill out paperwork and request me to be their trainer. So I get a lot of clients that way as well. And it's just really being out there talking to people. I usually have business cards on me when I'm out and about. And if people ask me what I do, I'll give them a business card, or I'll talk to them about my business and what I do for a living. And so it's really just going at it from all different directions. As far as my clientele, I think I had mentioned I train clients from 14 to 88. And there's really no limit on the age range of what your client can be. I think it just depends on the type of training. So, for example, if I were working with an 8 or 10-year-old, the training would be more applicable to, say, the sports that they're doing. So I may work on someone who's, if I'm working with a 10-year-old that plays soccer, we may focus on speed and agility training, or balance and speed and agility training. Whereas with someone in their 40s or 50s, the focus may be more on losing body fat and maintaining lean mass. So the age range is really not that relevant. It's more the style of training and the focus of training. So I'll train really with any age group, but the type of training may be different depending on the age of the client.
Fascinating. Wonderful. Those are all the student questions. I end every interview with my own 3 questions. What advice would you give young people today?
In regards to pursuing a career, are you thinking, or?
It could be a career, or if you'd like to do that, or if you just want to give general advice for young people in the world today. Either one.
My feeling is follow your heart. And if you feel passionate about something or anything, don't ever let anyone change your mind or try to talk you out of it. And when I decided to become a full-time trainer, there was someone in my life that said to me, that's a really stupid idea. You should do something more practical. You should be a nutritionist, do something like that. And I said, you know what? that's not what I want to do. I want to do this full time. I think I can be a really valuable contribution to a lot of people. And I think I will really love doing this. And so I pursued it and I took a chance and I started my own business. And I never looked back. And that's what I would persuade young people to do. Follow their heart, surround themselves with people that support you and love you and believe in you, and don't listen to people who don't.
Right, right. Oh, great advice. Yeah, as a woman classical guitarist, I went through the same thing. I was told to work for IBM and I would never make it as a guitarist or a teacher. I was given all sorts of bad advice, and I didn't take an ounce of advice that I stuck to my guns, and I still
Absolutely.
still do.
And
Uh,
isn't it cool to wake up every day and
yes,
love what you're doing?
yes,
And to not have that opportunity in your life, I feel so blessed
yeah,
that I get up every day and I love what I do.
yeah, I
It's the
do
best
too.
feeling ever.
Yeah, I never tire. I mean, I get tired at night and go to bed,
Right.
but I'm never tired of what I do. I'm never tired of students asking me questions or needing help. I'm not tired of the nonprofit. I'm not tired. I just love what I do.
Yeah,
And oh, it makes all the world of difference. That's what the world needs, is people who love what they do, doing what they love.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So the second question is, what gives you hope in this world? What gives you hope?
What gives me hope, and this is kind of specific to my what I'm doing in my as a as a personal trainer,
Mhm.
but overall, what gives me hope is this shift in dialogue about health and wellness. And how when I started teaching aerobics when I was 14 years old, people really, all they really cared about was how they looked. That's why they were doing it. That's why they were working out. And there's been just this monumental shift, especially in the last decade, really, about how moving our bodies and staying healthy and um, working on our mental health, all of those components keep us living longer, give us a better quality of life. And really, that's what gives me hope, is that we're now focusing on being the best versions of ourselves, not just how our muscles look, right?
Yeah,
Or how much weight we can lift, but how we feel as a full being and how that keeps us healthy and young, and how we're living longer and we're having longer lives and better quality of life.
yeah. And
So
when we're happy,
that's hopeful to me.
when we're happy, people around us are happy. So it
Yes,
starts with us.
right,
Uh,
exactly, exactly.
Great answer. And then my last question is, who inspires you in any way? Who inspires you?
My clients inspire me every single day. They inspire me. Um, that's that's why I love what I do. When I start working, with someone who is having problems and issues with balance, and they tell me that all of a sudden they're going up and down stairs and not worried about falling, that inspires me. When I have a client that hires me to train them for a race and they run their race and they make a PR, that inspires me. When I work with a client with a chronic illness like Parkinson's that feels like they are just on this downward spiral, physically and mentally and emotionally, and then they send me pictures of them on a beach flexing like this because they feel so strong, that inspires me. When I work with people that when they come to me, they can barely stand up off the ground. And, 2 weeks later, they're standing up seamlessly without even thinking about getting up off the ground. That inspires me. All of these people that work so hard and show up for me every day in and day out, they inspire me. That's what inspires me.
Oh, wonderful. That's inspiring. Thank you so much for this interview. I cannot thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Oh, your time, knowledge, your inspiration, your joy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is a wonderful, wonderful organization, and what you're doing is really phenomenal. I'm so happy to have been part of it. So thank you for the opportunity, and I'm so sorry for all of my technical issues.
No problem. No problem. Oh, well, thank you again. And everybody out there, you'll find information, the website for Kismet Fit Studio below, and you will find information about One Voice for Change below. Please like and subscribe. It helps this channel. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And until next time, bye.